You're tuned into RX Radio. Movement prescribed. Brought to you by Prescript.com. A personalized approach to keeping you healthy and making your best even better. Your hosts, Dr. Jordan Shallow and Dr. Jordan Jinta.
But when you do comedy, we've known Jordy for how long? You've known Jordy for longer than I have.
Dude, a decade.
Long time.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking, you and I both have a funny history together. Like we all have like long histories of like how long we've known each other.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when we first crossed paths.
Before the pro show, but the
Yeah,
first
for
pro
sure.
show, which was like many years ago.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
Yeah. I've known of you for a long time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, knowing you and then knowing you as like watching your comedy is two totally different yous.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's a deliberate aspect to your comedy. People don't get it. Like, do you remember the time we were at Nando's? And
Oh, fuck.
there was like Chasco and Hay. There's like 12 people at the table. JC, Ali.
Okay.
And you, like, I was on the other side of the table, literally in tears, crying, and because you deliberately say things in a way that just, unless you're like looking for it, you miss it. And the rest of the table's like carrying on eating the chicken and rice, and I'm in tears. And you kind of just gave me one of these, like, yeah, you got what I was picking up.
Yeah.
Because you're like, so we were talking earlier about Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
He's the Dave Chappelle of fitness. Because
Yeah.
the more the like internet craze sort of took off, the more you
Disappeared
rescinded into.
Oh. Yeah.
Because you deleted your social.
Yeah.
You deleted your Instagram. What was the impetus behind that?
I didn't like the dialogue that was going on in the world. It was too much for me, and I knew I couldn't do a fucking thing about it. So all I could do is make fun of it, and everyone kind of showed that they weren't into that. So I was like, "Fuck this! I'll focus on my business."
Do you remember the day you just hit deactivate? Like, what? I don't even know what that process is.
They really don't want you to go.
Yeah,
man.
they really-
It's
I've
fucked
done it.
up. They really don't want you to go. They ask you a couple times if you want to just make it temporary. They're like, you can still access this for 30 days. Just click here and you can get your thing. So like, I had to permanently delete it because if I opened my Bacon and Barbells and I switched, it would switch on my own again.
So it would restart that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I would temporarily delete my profile, go switch from Bacon and Barbells to something else. Because I have like a whole bunch of accounts of all these cool brands that I come up with and never do anything with. So I switch between, and then, it would come back. So then I could get DMs, post, all that stuff again. So I had to permanently delete it.
Was there ever a thought like, this might have a negative impact on my business?
No.
You just didn't care. I aspire to be that far removed.
Yeah, but I think you're a lot more successful than I am.
I don't think that's true though.
That's not.
I think you have more to lose.
You're the like closet millionaire.
Oh yeah, right.
No, I don't know, man. Like
Yeah.
everywhere I go, no matter where I am in the world, whenever I'm wearing like a Bacon and Barbell shirt, someone knows who it is.
Yeah.
Without fail, without a doubt.
Maybe you're going to the wrong place.
Well, that goes beside. Actually, it was so funny. I was with this
You're in
girl
like an alleyway.
I was with this girl the other night, and she
bike spokes.
Yeah.
She was wearing the Antisocial Social Club shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the first time I'd ever seen anyone wearing it, and I didn't realize that it was like a thing. Like I was like, I've never known anyone to actually own that.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, did they rip Jordy off? And then it was like, no, like it was a satirical move on your part.
Yeah, people send me that all the time. They're like, hey, just so you know, this company's like ripping you off. I'm like, yo, they have like 8 million followers.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though, like I would imagine if my business was in a position that yours was, that because you were the Bacon and Barbells guy, right? How often do you get approached as that? Like, oh, you're the Bacon and Barbells
I don't
guy.
go out much.
Fair. But somehow yours, and that's like the Dave Chappelle reference, is like you're able to rescind into the internet and your business still exists.
Yeah.
And then you can come out with like a brand new brand.
Yeah.
And it still be successful.
Define success.
Dude, you're wearing stained clothing in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's a work day for the rest of the world. And you're sitting here doing this, and this is part of your job.
It's a Saturday.
Is it? I had no idea. People work on Saturdays, no?
It's
you?
just before the Lord's
Yeah,
Day.
What timer was that for?
Oh, it's to book a workout at this gym because it's so popular.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh well, we're gonna skirt that. But yeah, you're the Dave Chappelle of fitness, because I don't think I'd be able to like.
That's a bold comparison. I will not accept.
I think it's but it's so true in a lot of ways. And I think the other thing that's funny is like Chappelle disappeared and got fucking huge.
Yeah, man, he got big.
He got so big, and
Yeah.
then like you are now the size
got
I was
smaller.
when I met you.
Yeah.
Are you talking physically?
Yeah, and that's what I think is so like the great parallel of you and Chappelle.
Yeah, Chappelle actually, like, he got muscular for a while. He
Wait,
looked
what,
good.
actually?
Yeah.
Chappelle like, when he first arrived back at like the court side of the basketball game was yoked.
Yeah,
Come on.
compared
Like,
to
we're
his
talking
old
like
self.
Nelly's second album, like.
Yeah, no, dude, like delts, traps, like
Visible muscle, for sure.
So
Yeah.
he was cranking it.
I don't know that he wasn't.
He's 50
he
years
wasn't running a
old.
bicycle, bro. That's what I'll tell you one thing.
So that's the cycle he's on. No, I had no idea.
Yeah, he came back just
Yeah.
jacked.
He looked
Yeah,
great.
and you just and what because powerlifting is because you're skateboarding is now your shtick.
Yeah, it just
I'm
kind of
on-
happened. Like so I just told Lucy, my wife, I was like, I want a skateboard, you know. But so this kind of goes into the Better Luck Next Life and the business and all this stuff, because I always have these ideas and I can never pull the trigger. So it's like it always just passes, or I just dwell on it, or I continue to think about it until I pull the trigger, or it never fucking happens. So I was just mentioned in passing, like, I want a skateboard. She went out and got me one, and I was like, oh, sick, awesome. Like, I'm just going to hang it on the wall, like, cool fucking piece of art for the house. And then I like went to the store one day, and I was like, how much is, like, a complete skateboard? And they're like, no, like, $250. And I was like, bro, I got to fucking ride this thing. I'm going to put, like, I can't afford that to sit there. That's ridiculous. That's fucking insane. So then I started riding it out of, like, pure guilt. And then I started to love it.
Do you feel like that helped you overcome like the decision to start a new brand?
It was easier for sure.
I couldn't imagine that. Like
Yeah.
I watched Kelly Starrett they go from supple leopard mobility wad to now the ready state, and that to me looked like the most difficult thing ever. It's like, why would you if you didn't have to?
Yeah.
Especially with Bacon and Barbells, like,
Yeah.
why would you if you didn't have to? Like with Better Luck Next Life, why? Like, what was the impetus to that?
I have a lot of ideas that are, like, a lot of my ideas are influenced by what I'm doing in my life. So with the whole quarantine, I wasn't working out pretty much at all. It was like the longest break in my any sort of exercise related capacity ever, in like as long as I can remember, since I can't say ever, but last 15 years, let's say, if not more. I wasn't doing anything. We had workout equipment. I wasn't using it. I was just like a sack of potatoes. And when I got that skateboard, I was like, this is the perfect thing I need to kind of move past me having to not do anything, because I need to do something. I'm always doing something. So it's like, if I'm not 100% in business, I'm 100% in something else, 100% in something else. So I'm always dedicated to something. And like, I felt like it was the perfect time for it not to be powerlifting, not to be business, not to be whatever. And then all of a sudden it just happened. Because that's how it happens for me. It's just like one thing leads to another. It's like, if that's the same way I started Bacon and Barbells, why wouldn't I just make it the same way I start something else?
But how is it like? I don't see how you're not 100% into like 5 things at once.
I am.
But that's antithetical to the thought process of being 100% in, right? Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
I don't know. It's weird. Even I think for myself, like I'm a lot like Moffit in this way. Like anything I do like way too passionately to where it like completely overwhelms my entire life and it's all I think about all day. But I think the same idea is like Moffit said about like switching between accounts. Is like I can be like 1,000% into fitness. I can switch an account in my brain and be 1,000% into movies. Like we could sit here for 4 hours. I could tell you everything about every movie ever, director, whatever. But it's like I think it's just that ability in your brain to like compartmentalize like almost these accounts you have in your brain. Like Moffit
I
can
like
be
narrowed down
Yeah.
what I really want and like, so I can put a lot more emphasis of enjoyment into those things. So it's like lifting. When I go to work, I go to the store. I love being at the store. I'm proud of having my own store. So like I work hard there. We make a lot of the stuff in store, so I feel like accomplished. I'm making shit. I go home, I'm like building stuff for skateboarding. So I'm getting like all these other skills that are going to transfer into my life in other ways that I probably wouldn't have gotten if I was just like getting under the bar, you know, getting mad at angry music and jacking off in the shower when I was done.
I feel like I'm the opposite. I do one thing and it ruins my life. Like I'm 1,000% in and it ruins everything else.
But
I'm
like,
skeptical of everything. Like that's why it takes me so long to jump on these decisions. Like this Better Luck Next Life thing, I've had a lot of those ideas like as long as Bacon and Barbells.
Yeah.
It's like 7 years sitting there. So it's like, when's the right time to do it? I don't fucking know. Whenever it happens, I guess.
and I think like with you, like you can sit down at a computer for 8 hours and get something done. That's not me. Like if Moffit's the autist and you're also like the
You got
autist.
that right.
Yeah, and it's like you're also on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I am like the ultimate in ADHD. Like I'll give you 17 minutes for every task I have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll double back in another 17 minutes and go at it again. But you got 17
So
minutes.
you're
in
weathering
the mouth.
traffic on the twos, essentially.
Oh, 100%. I
So
can't. I can't do it. Like I'll sit and try and do anything, even something I love, and it'll become irritating. Listening to music, 3 songs, I'm extremely irritated. Watching something, irritated.
Yeah.
Eating something, irritated. Like I gotta do something else. I gotta leave.
Really?
So it'll take me a whole day to get something done. I'll get it done.
Yeah.
But it's like it's gotta happen in like these brief periods of time. Whereas you're like, I'll just sit at the computer right for 8 hours. I'm like, not a fucking chance.
Yeah. Oh, no way. I mean, I think, I don't know. Whatever works at the end of the day. But like the thing that, because you and Luke's been together for so long, that's the one thing that when I get into something, oh, well, I'm going to torch every relationship I have.
Not
Like,
married.
see you later. But like, that's the hardest thing is like, I can't break, like, I can't compartmentalize.
I also don't care about anything I don't care about, which makes it easy for me to be like 100% into everything I like.
Right.
Because I literally intake no other data. Like
That's fair.
I have zero understanding of anything that's going on ever outside of something I enjoy.
But I guess how do you pick, right? Like your obscure movie knowledge about like Korean, what was the one? The tooth one, the thing with the airplane and what was the fucking movie?
Oh, dude.
Where the kids don't know that the real world exists and then the plane flies over the fence.
No, that's Dogtooth. That's a Greek guy.
you heard about
Yargos
this?
Lanthos.
No.
Dude, I can't. Dude, when
Did you ever see The Lobster with Colin Farrell?
No.
You probably hate it.
What was the deer one?
Oh, The Killing of Sacred Deer. That's what you watched.
I saw that one. And
where he's like, what a nice watch, Ian. Is that a leather band? I prefer a
how
rubber
do
band.
you know this?
Yeah.
That blows me away. And also know other shit.
But it's like that comes from fucking loneliness.
Yikes. Wow. Do we have to dedicate? Is that where this goes? Is this like the whole hour?
No, like when I was in high school, I watched 365 movies in a year,
You'd watch a movie every day.
every single day.
Holy shit.
Because if I wasn't watching a movie, I was probably doing something way worse for my physical health.
Okay. So that
So I
was
was
just
like, I'll just sit down and watch this movie. It's like I could sit for 2.5 hours and become really invested. But like I would watch a movie and I'd be like, who directed this movie? What movies does this director like? Who directed those movies? What movies did they like? Oh, they directed the first fucking movie? Well, what books did they like? What authors? What did they do in their free time? How many of these people killed themselves? Why did they kill themselves? Who did they hang out with?
Yeah.
I need to know everything about everything.
So you just pulled on a thread.
Yeah, and that thread took me deep into the internet. To Visitor Q, where this woman's lactating in a grown man's face.
What? We've talked about that one before.
I think so.
That's an issue.
You see the one where the girl shoots a football out of her vagina and says hut hut?
What?
No.
Oh. I remember the internet when I was like, when I was just as like a kid discovering the internet. And do you remember the first time you saw something that scared the fucking heebie-jeebies out of you online? Like your first dead body or your first whatever?
Blair Witch Project count?
No, it has to be on the internet. Like the first real life thing.
BME Pain Olympics.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Dude, I
You know this
never-
for sure. Oh, man,
Chopping your dick off?
with the hatchet,
Yeah.
the blunt hatchet.
Yeah.
He has the blunt butcher knife, and he's just chopping his hog off.
Yeah,
It's like a
man.
real video of a
Yeah.
real person.
Or that dude who puts the Coke bottle in his butt and then it breaks.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, and he's just like, ooh.
Yeah.
I've never come across
Like,
a
yeah,
single thing.
ooh, that's all it hurts.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
No, never.
Mine hasn't broken yet, so we're good.
Yeah.
But
But it's Pepsi.
what's the point? I don't. Is there a point
Poopsie.
to that? Is
What?
there a point to that?
Yeah, they won some award. Now it's free surgery. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I have no idea where you're going with that.
The whole story, the whole question.
Yeah,
The first time you saw something fucked up on the internet,
yeah.
like what was your first thing?
I don't even remember what that would be.
Mine was always like a dead. Like remember Rotten.com?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but why? So what is the curiosity that leads you to that?
You're a kid, and it's like the scope beyond the world that you never knew existed. Because like now you've been sheltered for so long, and then your parents are at work, and you're at home on your lunch break searching up Britney Spears boobs because you have access to it.
Right.
and you come across like Lemon Party
Yeah.
Okay,
or
I've
Meat
heard-
Spin.
or Meat Spin.
Yeah. Or goatse.cx.
Yeah, go to SC.C or Tub Girl.
Yes.
She poops in her own mouth,
Yeah.
Excuse me?
and it's just on like it's just a GIF.
That was a great image, the way it was shot, too.
Yeah, or you love Finding Forrester.
Right?
There used to be a website called You're the Man Now Dog. It was the acronym, and people would just post like, do you remember this, Lundy? Oh my God! So You're the Man Now Dog, whatever that acronym is, people would just make it like linked to the GIF. So like Rickroll was, I think,
Yeah.
You're the Man Now Dog's like first thing when people got Rickrolled.
What
they'd
is
send,
Rickroll?
So they'd send you a link to another website.
How are you 30 and
Yeah.
also 900 at the same time?
So like you would type in pre-script.com,
Right.
but it would actually bring you to this You're the Man Now Dog page, which would be that Rickroll song. Like
Never
whatever.
going to give you up.
Never gonna let you down.
Yeah.
And it would just play on repeat and you couldn't turn it off. But there was one that was I poop from there. And it was this porno of this dude fucking this chick in the ass. And she's like, I poop from there. And he's like, not right now, you don't. And I remember grade 10, some kid came in early to our Comtech class and opened it on all the computers and minimized the internet but turned the volume up. And we came to class and all the computers were playing it and all the monitors was off, so the teacher couldn't figure out which one it was.
That's
It was
the
just
best
this
thing I've
dude
ever
being
heard.
like, yeah, not right now, you don't.
Not right now, you
Yeah,
don't.
I understand why you both have lesser of a presence on the internet and no patience for the internet, because your indoctrination in the internet started with pooping or whatever the fuck you just said.
But like, I think too that.
Do you remember Mr. Hands?
Oh, I was gonna bring that up, Mr. Hands.
Mr. Hands.
Jesus.
There's a documentary on Mr. Hands. You
Yeah,
should
there
get your
is.
movie knowledge up.
The dude who fucks the horse
And then the
You
horse
know it.
kills him.
and kills him.
He like rearranges his guts.
Like, so the horse like kicked him.
No, the horse
The
fucked
horse,
him.
the horse went nay nay, and the guy
Yeah.
went bye bye.
It was like it's like driving a bulldozer through a maze.
Oh,
So it's any wonder, like, do you think that has anything to do with how both demystified you are with the internet?
I think so.
Because
think
I think
lot of
that's
ways.
also my general lack of like empathy for anything or anyone. It
I
like,
don't think
started
that's
from
true.
the internet. I think
I
so.
don't, but I think I find you to be a fairly empathetic person. Probably more. You're probably one of the most emotionally aware people I've ever met in my life. I don't think you.
I'm
can
a very good actor.
I don't think you can dismiss that.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like, I don't find the internet. I mean, it's increasingly more egregious now with like people's ability to voice their opinion.
Wait, did you just call me an emotional little bitch?
What? No. How did I do that?
I'm taking that as a threat.
Oh, are you being like some sort of leftist PC thing?
No,
Well, how did I call you emotional little bitch?
I don't know.
Are you following?
Would you call me emotionally what?
Intelligent, aware.
Aware?
Empathetic?
Aware.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that I wasn't meant to be.
Isn't that a bad thing?
No.
No.
Oh,
You're
How would that
definitely
be a
the
bad thing?
like. I think Lundy's probably a pretty great guy,
yeah.
and then it probably goes Moffit,
Not anymore. Not after this conversation.
and then Shallow, and then me.
Nah. I mean, depends on the situation.
No, I don't. I don't think so, man. Like, I think people think I'm a lot nicer than I really am.
I think it's given context. I think you'd get out of your car to help an old lady cross the street.
100%.
Right. It's there. Done. How the character is judged on what, like, how you act towards people who can't do anything for you.
I wouldn't
That's
do
mine.
that though. I would drive.
You bullshit.
No,
Bullshit.
I wouldn't.
Fuck you.
No,
Fuck you.
You don't know. You don't know how I am on the road.
Come on.
He's
No, I wouldn't.
He's Paul Walker, dude.
I would-
He's got places to be. He's in that NOS.
Yeah, I'm a live Paul Walker.
He's got to beat the train.
I would probably tell her to get. I don't know. I would just
You wouldn't.
when
You
I'm,
wouldn't
okay.
honk at the old lady.
Things change when I'm driving. Seriously, things change
What
when
is
I'm
it
driving.
about driving particularly that makes things change?
I just always feel like I need to be somewhere right now.
Of all people, you're what? How?
I don't know. I just don't want to be in that middle space of point A to point B.
I get that.
So if
100%.
grandma's in the way, then like I got here before I got this coffee to
Yeah.
make sure there was nothing in my way of the drive. And then when I got here, I was like, okay, I'll go get a coffee.
But the drive itself can't be something.
Yeah, it's the wasted time before I get here.
Are you the same?
Dude, I agree 100% with
Yeah, because
Moffit.
this is the priority. This is the goal. Everything else in between is the trash before it.
It's just
Really?
the,
Or the trash
it's
after.
the purgatory.
Yeah, there's nothing to it for me.
And nothing can happen when you're driving. Like,
Well,
you're
you
just
can, like,
getting
listen to
somewhere.
Yeah, you
book or
get somewhere,
something.
you die, and I didn't
Or like
die.
listen to music?
No, my stereo's broken.
What about like just not being around other people?
But I do that every day in the store, pretty much.
Okay.
Unless it's like,
my life is trying to not be around other people.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it cathartic.
I like not being around people. Like, not in that sense, but like I have an imagination that allows me to be with myself, you know?
Well, then if you're in your car, like you can be with yourself, no?
Yeah. But I hate myself, so sometimes I try to get away.
Come on.
Yeah. Killian knows what's up.
I don't hate myself, but I get it. Well, I do, actually. There's a lot of me that I hate.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be trapped
You just
kind of,
when you're in the car with your own thoughts, then you go over everything you've done wrong your whole life.
That's the problem.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm just
and then you're like, I wish I had music.
And this is more to like the me being 1000% in. Like, I just don't stop thinking about work stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is nice. I can think about work in this room now.
And I think
this room has wheels.
And I think it's interesting because I think for you, and like we've talked about this a lot, and this isn't flaming you because we're not going to do that again. But it's like I think work. What is it? Like you find work rewarding, right? I don't know what people say. Like gives you purpose. Like that's your thing.
Yeah.
That's not what it is for me. Like work fuels the things that I love, which is not what I do.
So what is it? Like drinking in the morning and like watching obscure movies?
No, I drank once at 10 a.m.
And that was the thing.
And that's the thing I do on the fucking internet because no one else has done that.
Step 9.
No, it's like, I love movies. I love like streetwear. I love going places, except for COVID traps me in my own home.
Right.
It's like I want to be a different place.
So work is just a means to an end for you?
1,000%.
What about you? Dude, there's no way. There's no difference between you and work, I could imagine. Like work is like if you spit, it's coming out of one of your Brad's mouths. Like that's how in you are.
In what sense?
Like he's saying he works as a means to an end. Like
Yeah.
we grew up in a town where people worked for 30 years on the line just because they like to go to Florida with their family once a year, put a fucking Sea-Doo in the Detroit River for 2 weeks, and then put their kids through college.
Yeah.
Right? So there's like a nobility to that. Where it's like you just did what you had to. So you're telling me that's like how you approach work. It's just you're doing what you got to do.
I've taken a decade or more. I've taken 15 years to find the one thing that is easiest, that I'm the best at, that has the greatest reward.
Okay. So it's that coefficient you're attempting to appease.
Yeah. That's what I've been trying to do for 15 years. What can I do the best? What pays me the best?
Right.
And what is the easiest for me to get up and do every day?
And neither of those things are enjoyment. Like none of those 3 metrics are enjoyment.
There are a lot of things that I enjoy, but
Right.
they're not fulfilling to me like I think work is fulfilling to you.
Right.
It's like I'm trying to do this so at some point in my life I can get away. I can delete my Instagram and I can be in Portugal somewhere watching movies.
And not be in a
drinking
don't do
Campari.
fitness, nothing.
No.
Really?
Dude, I want to go.
That's so interesting. But I mean, you can go and still do it.
No. I'm out.
You're out.
Yeah.
You're just going to fucking Bruce Wayne it. Like just off
yeah.
from the, yeah.
You're going to see me one day.
And I'm going to be Alfred.
Yep.
And we're just going to
And I'll pay your bill and I'll be the fuck out of there.
No way, man.
Going out in the sunset.
But what about you? Like, I can't imagine you without your brands. Like, there's no exit strategy. My exit strategy is you 3 fuckers and 3 more people are lowering me into the ground. That's how I get away from work.
I know that.
I gotta
Carried
start
by
working out
6
again.
or fucking judged by 12. They throw me in prison for somehow being able to pay for all this nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, to answer your first question, I'm kind of the same in that regard. Like I am now, I like work to be something that allows me to do whatever I want to do. And I've also been able to create a work environment that I really love. And that's under my own accord. Like it's taken me like 5 years of like making merch and folding it on like a washer and dryer, you know, and then being homeless for a while for, you know, living in a friend's basement to like truly appreciate where I am. So it's like, I haven't changed anything that I've done with the business. It's just, there's been more business.
Okay.
So I like now at this point, it's everything I do, I can just do when I want to.
Sure.
So it's having no boss, no 9 to 5, nothing, you know, and I would do that at minimum wage. I don't care. As long as I didn't have a boss, as long as I didn't have anybody tell me what to do, that's all I want to do.
But yours is built in a sustainable way where you don't have to ever walk away from it. Right? Nor would you want to.
If I ever do, yeah, I want it to be on my own accord.
Right.
For
Where it's
sure.
like, I feel like you got a mad sprint. Where it's like, yo, stuff the mattress. Like we got
dude,
5 years before this gig is up, and I'm out.
The minute you made me post on Instagram, I started.
Yo, I didn't make you do anything.
The minute you advised me it would be beneficial for me to exist on the internet greater than I previously had.
Right.
Because I had an Instagram like 2 years before we had met.
Right.
Like when I first kind of like met Jordan. And like it's not a lot of followers, but at the time I had over 1,000 followers on Instagram when I was doing powerlifting. And like I deleted it.
Okay.
Because I just got to a point where I was like, I don't want to fucking exist on this internet one more day.
Fair enough.
And I deleted it. And I had an Instagram like 2 months before we met. And then you advised me it'd be beneficial for me to use it. And I was like, okay, I can see the benefit of this.
Right.
And literally the first time I made a post and it was about you and me, I started the clock on how long I was going to do this.
Really?
And I was on the phone the other night and I was telling somebody, I'm like, I know exactly when I'm going to leave this with exactly how much money I'm going to have.
Now, is it a time or a number thing?
It's a number thing, but
Okay.
there's a timer on it.
Okay. So it's whatever comes first. So if the timer elapses, whatever you got, you're out. Or if you get the money first, you're up.
Yeah, but to me, it's non-negotiable. I'll have that amount of money at that time, but either way, at that time, I'm gone. Like, I'm deleting Instagram. I'm not saying anything.
You just
Later days, I'm gone.
It's going to be like
Yeah.
this. It's the fucking end of Good Will Hunting. I'm going to go knock on your door.
Yeah,
fucking
that's
Dover
it.
Court,
I'm just
and
driving.
No, you have to tell everyone that you're gonna. Hey, I'm gonna go on a Instagram hiatus soon.
Yeah.
Just letting everyone know.
I tried to do that one weekend to go hang out with my parents, who I never see. And all I did was post so people knew I wasn't going to get back to them. I thought it would be professional.
Right.
Hey, guys, I'm not going to be back on here till Monday. 2 minutes later, 5 people had said, why aren't you going to be on Instagram? And at that moment, I knew this timer is a non-negotiable. I'm out.
Do we get to know what it is?
No.
Do you get to tell me when we're not recording?
Yeah, when we
okay,
turn-
good.
I'll tell both of you
Because I
guys.
gotta know. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna fuck off to Portugal, I gotta get a mailing address. You're gonna get a Christmas card or
Yeah,
something.
but I'm out, and I think that's just because like I know like within my own capacity what I can do.
Okay. But what would you do outside of that? Or the idea is to secure so much money that you can just live off it.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna.
He also doesn't care. Like I think you can do the opposite as well. Like you could sleep on a fucking
100%.
like
Yeah, well,
inside
I've
of a
lived in
whale
bathtubs
blubber or
and shit.
something
Yeah,
on the side of a beach
yeah.
if you wanted to.
Yeah, I slept in a bathtub, had no money.
Yeah, he's like slept on more floors.
Yeah. I've had less than nothing, which I think probably all of us have, less than nothing to my name, and never felt better or worse than I
It's
feel
called
today.
student debt.
Right.
Yeah. And I did it all on my own accord. Quit my job, moved out west, lost everything, was in the most depressed period of my life, came back, worked at a nuclear waste facility. I was throwing out dead cancer patients' blood-soaked sheets.
The beginning of that sounded like the start to the Toxic Avenger film.
Yeah. And that was my job.
So here's the thing.
And I was just as happy as I am now.
We have friends that have careers that they should probably have them. Like we have friends that are career criminals that it should be a number. Like what? Like maybe they do have a number, they just haven't reached it yet. It's like, hey man, when is the gig gonna be up? Like when are you just gonna fucking take off to the Caymans?
Yeah, but what's the number to fun ratio? Because what if you can have fun and it's not a number?
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, you guys are like, once I get a number, I'm out of here.
Right.
Like, why does it have to be a number?
Well, that's for me. Like I don't get out of this. Like I don't get off this ride.
No, you never do.
Right.
I don't
but
think
it's
you
like
can.
I'm like a huge like now I'm slowly turning into, maybe not so slow, but like turning into like an experience junkie. Where it's like, okay, if my number is I'm just dead, then like let's do some cool shit while we're like that's why this was such an easy thing. Like we were having a meeting like Kyle was talking to our CEO who like manages their books, and she's like, you're spending how much on the studio? It's like, I don't know, like 35 grand. And then she's like, but how does it make any money? And I was like, oh wait, is that a thing? Like, does it have to make money? Yeah, but I think that's the fun thing, right? Is like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a number, but I think for our friends who are career criminals, it should be a number. Like, you should have an out. Like, it's because that's a gamble, right? I look at people who like have those types of lifestyles where it's like, okay, you're whatever it is you do, however you make your money, that's a gamble. And just like gambling, it's like I have a number and I'm out.
Yeah.
No, but you do because you're a logical human being. But you don't enter into a career that is a gamble because you live in logic, right? Like it's like people with PTSD or like different mental illnesses are more likely to have risk-taking behavior. So it's like if you're a person who's more inclined to risk-taking behavior, it's not going to be a number for you. It's not going to be like, this is logically when it's safest to leave. Like Jordan said, it's like Moffit said, it's the risk-taking behavior. It's the fun level of it. It's like, I'm going to keep doing this paid or not paid because it's gangster.
It's like the self-deprecating piece of yourself that's like, I'm never going to be anything, so I'll just keep doing this the best I can.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I never think anything I do is good enough, and I'm sure you guys are the same, and that's what
100%.
keeps your steam rolling, right?
But I could never imagine stepping away from it. Like I could this idea that one day you're just going to be gone.
I think because I entered into fitness from...
Don't you think that's the last step, though, of the whole process?
what? Just Lucius Foxing your way out
Just
of it? Just typing your name into the computer?
Fuck out of
whole
Dodge,
time?
man.
Yeah.
But it's not Dodge. Like, that's my biggest thing. Is like, I don't see it as this. Like, I don't see it like this gamble. I don't see it like the feds are coming. I don't know what my tax situation is right now. Maybe they are coming, but like, I don't see it as this thing. Like, I mean, I would say that I have a high tolerance for risk.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm flying to Florida for 2 weeks on a risk that it might pan out. I stay there for 4 months. If not, I get fucking gulagged in a hotel somewhere for $2,000. It's like, all right, that's a risk. All this shit is a risk. So I'm not necessarily risk averse, but unlike our friends that are career criminals, I don't see the necessity for an exit strategy.
I think it's not that the feds are coming. It's that I'm coming for myself. Like, I'm currently doing something that I'm so adverse to doing.
Which is what?
Which is public speaking and talking to other human beings.
Is it not growing on you?
No.
Really?
No, man. Like, I sweat. Like, I'm soaked. Every time we teach prescript, I'm soaking wet at the end of that fucking lecture.
Come on.
100%.
What about with skill acquisition?
Dude.
Actually?
Disgusting.
But
like
don't you think
sweat
and this is how I look
yeah,
at it.
sweat acquisition.
Yeah,
Like,
pre-sweat.
Shouldn't that be something like, I'm not a huge, like, we talk about Stoic philosophy and kind of like our problems with that. But like, is your goal to be comfortable? Like, isn't there
No. But that's the work. Like, for me, like, I went from doing a physically taxing job to doing a job that's inherently the least hard job in the whole world to do.
Grass, yeah.
So it's like, why would I not want to sit with something that's difficult for me?
Right.
Which is talking and speaking and being on the internet and being public. Like, I didn't have an Instagram because I didn't want people to know who I am. Like, that bothers me so much.
Does it still?
I hate it. I hate it so much. People knowing who I am.
That's so strange
I
to
feel
me.
that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wake
feel
up
like
every
as
day
much
to
as
that thought.
Dude, I struggle with how much I put out there and how much I don't. I really feel like people put too much of themselves out online, way too much on a daily basis, and I think it's detrimental.
In what way?
I think they treat it as like a therapy session, and they think they're getting some sort of they think that, some of these people who are agreeing with them are on their side, or that's some sort of, reciprocal behavior, when really it's all fucking nonsense. Like, the internet's a fucking toilet.
Yeah.
And
opium
your opinion
for the
doesn't fucking
masses.
matter. Just like, go get the means necessary to get actual help.
Right.
That was a big reason with my social media being removed as well. It's like, I see the damages. Like, I see how people act. I see, it doesn't take long for anyone to scroll through a comment section and see that that's just an argument, or you see somebody in the DMs say something or in their stories where it's like, that's going to attract people in a certain way, and you worded that in a certain way to garner a response from people. And as stupid as these people pretend to be, they have such a cunning way of using words to grab people's attention and get people absorbed in anger. Like we were talking earlier about fucking Twitter, where you're like, go on Twitter, it'll ruin your life. It's like, you go on for 5 fucking minutes and literally it. Like, you couldn't even go on today and look at the thing.
But can't you, like, I don't know. I wasn't comfortable, like, talking about shit, like, in my life and being open. Because I think I'm fairly open, especially with the podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I've talked about the good and the bad or whatever. But it wasn't until I actually, saw a therapist in real life that was something like, oh, I don't give a fuck. Like, the Instagram and social media to me it's whose line is it anyways?
Yeah.
It's like where no one's keeping score and the points don't fucking matter. So it's like, I don't see where, for me, it has to have an end game. Like, it doesn't have an expiry date. Like, know me, don't know who I probably got away with not having to pay a drop-in fee, maybe like $500 worth of drop-in fees in my life. It's just like, yeah, sweet. And she's like, oh yeah, I know you from Instagram. It's like, that's great. Like, the negative, I don't see the negative in it. Is it just the anonymity?
I think it's just something I don't enjoy and never served a purpose to me.
But if it's buying stupid neon shoes, fair. But I'm just saying.
But like I would, and that's the funny thing is, like, I would do all this anyways. Like, I own the ridiculous T-shirts that I own because I would.
Right.
And I own these shoes because I can afford them now.
Okay, but it's because you found this coefficient of something you're good at, something you like, and something that pays you, right? Which is kind of that coefficient where people are like, oh, just do what you love, and
and I think that's something to clarify, right? I'm not saying I don't enjoy what I do. Sure. I don't love the people that I work with or care about them. I do. Like, I found something that I can care enough about that I can be good at it because I need to care about it to be good at it. But this isn't like, it doesn't consume me outside of this. And powerlifting never did either. Like, I started doing powerlifting because I love cutting weight.
Yeah.
And I used to cut like 30 pounds, and Moffit used to help me on and off the bench at meets.
Yeah.
But it's like I showed up at powerlifting meets cutting 30 pounds because I wanted to lose weight. Like I didn't think working out in front of people was a real thing.
Right.
So I was like, what makes this hard? Cutting weight. I don't think my job now is hard. So how can I make it hard? By doing it because I don't like doing it.
Interesting. So I mean, then what would be your next struggle? Like if you packed in, you got the fucking mattress stuffed full of cash. And clearly, it's like you got to pick up a fucking weight and carry it, right?
Yeah.
But what could possibly be the next? You can't just fuck off like Andy Dufresne and live on a beach. You'd be roped up like the old guy on the rafters in 2 days.
I got other stuff I like doing.
But that's the thing. I like doing stuff, but it doesn't bring with it that struggle that makes it fulfilling.
So I'm writing. I can't believe I'm telling anybody this.
Great.
I'm writing a television show.
Great.
But I never would have had, like, I've written probably 10 treatments to movies and TV that I never had the confidence to, like, see through or send to someone or publish or make prior to doing what we do.
Right.
And now it's like I can put my face on the internet and talk and deliver things. Like I do those Q&As on the spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
frustrating.
I can easily do a TV series now. Like I could fucking make a YouTube TV series. I'm not saying it's going to be good or successful, but I could do it. Like I could put it out into space and not feel any kind of way about it. Like doing these podcasts and talking to you and other people and being open is like, now I've removed that need for anonymity I had before.
But would you take that same approach that you have with this business and put that into the YouTube series, being like, you get to do these videos, but you don't like doing these videos type thing?
I'm hoping that from doing this, the level of not liking that will be less. Like I'm basically, it's cognitive behavior therapy. I'm exposing myself to this.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah, exposing myself to this stimulus I absolutely can't take.
Well, that was a big thing with stand-up too. Is like, if you want the ultimate, if you want to learn a lot about yourself, go stand up in front of a bunch of strangers and try to make them laugh. Try to make them say an H and an A over and over. It's fucking ridiculous. It's the most stressful thing in the world. And then for some people, it's just easy.
Yeah, but I mean, so I'm sitting between two people that are telling me that they like anonymity, and they like reclusivity, and you're a stand-up comedian, and you're telling me you want to fucking.
And I'm a fake stand-up comedian,
right? Well, it's way easier to get laughs when it's not the sole purpose. Yeah, like me and you just basically go up there and do an Abbott and Costello routine. Yeah, like whatever we teach together.
I treat it like stand-up all the time. I'm working on bits.
Yeah, but I'm the one going, I don't care. I don't necessarily care to be reclusive. Like in my business, the more people I know me, the better the business is. Hence why we have this fucking crazy studio setup. I'm sitting between two people who like anonymity and who like to be reclusive, and yet are leapfrogging me in the attempt to get in the public eye. Like you did Gotham? You did Gotham Comedy Club in New York?
Yeah, I used to go every couple weeks.
Right, so you fly to New York to stand-up comedy at like one of the premier stand-up spots in New York City.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I saw Schaub there. It's much to your disdain
for
Schaub's comedian. I thought it was pretty good. You know the thing with Brandon Schaub is he's too big to laugh at. I was the only one laughing because I was the only one like confident that if you got stepped off stage, you might not kick my ass.
You also can't laugh at anyone who doesn't tell jokes. It's just mean.
But then you're sitting here going, I want to ride off in John Wayne into the sunset. Haha, just kidding. I want to pitch this to fucking HBO.
I think that's the next thing I would work on. Like if I had to have a task, that's what I would do. I'd write.
I think it's also the
but good luck deleting your Instagram account.
Well, we don't know where Instagram's going to be.
Dude, what? You're going to trade in your Instagram account for an international movie database account? Like, and that's going to stop you from knowing who you are? I don't know if you thought this one through, man.
No, I definitely have. Like, I can write it. I don't have to be in it. I don't have to direct it.
You're going to be like Ron Howard?
I'm just going to write it and shop it.
Interesting. But then this YouTube series.
Yeah, I'm not in it. I'm just writing it.
You're just going to write it in the background.
Sounds like an interrogation now.
Well, I'm just so intrigued because, like,
have you ever seen not influential celebrity Instagrams, but like the celebrities that I'm into, like the movie stars and the directors that I'm into.
Those are celebrity influencers.
Like Josh Brolin's of the world?
Like Josh Brolin's even worse, but like this guy Carl Guzman, who's in a Gaspar Noé movie, and he was married to Zoe Kravitz. His Instagram at any given time has like 3 photos on it, and he never shows up. And he's verified. It's like there's a dude, he doesn't ever have to exist on the internet.
So it's still
tons of movies with his hologram.
But he gained his notoriety before the internet, so that's why he doesn't have to exist on it. When you're a part of the internet, you have to. There's so many people who are trying to be something like him that's the competition now. It's like, I want the eyes on me. I want the attention. I want you to know who I am. So that's why I'm like, you guys can go play your game and I'll go jack off in the corner.
I don't know. I feel like you have to accrue this, like the currency of the day.
I think you can do it in greater levels of anonymity though.
Now?
I still think so.
Dude, I feel like you're sitting there collecting, like you're panning for fucking gold. It's like, yo, we got Bitcoin over here, man. Like, what are you doing?
I think it depends on the industry. Like, I think we are so invested in fitness and we see the face to camera that is fitness and the daily curation of telling people that you are so successful in fitness.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at people who exist in these other mediums, Virgil Abloh, Off-White, like obviously he exists, but his Instagram is mainly things that he makes or possibly him in this third-party candid shot somewhere. And it's like he doesn't exist on a personal level on the internet.
Right.
He is Off-White. He is Virgil Abloh, right? Like ASAP Mob and all the creative people in that, like they exist within these creative Instagrams that don't necessarily have to be their face to camera.
I'm just seeing you like runway side of Paris Fashion Show. Like Fashion Week, just sitting there with the fucking neon shoes.
That'd be great. I'm just going to retire and go do that.
So that was the biggest issue I found with running the business was I wanted to stay behind the camera and have all the products speak for itself. And when the business really started to take off was when the personality behind the person behind the business was shining through.
Right.
So that was a big adjustment for me as well. With, like you just said, like having to go on to do these Q&As or having to be on camera all the time. It's like, I know there's a level of myself that needs to be there every day. And up until recently, it's always been me. But now with Lucy and Tash, we have a couple employees now, like they can kind of take that role, which I still like. But I know, like, as you do, like, you can't do this podcast without you, you know? Yeah. That's kind of my whole theory is like I have to show up, I have to be there. So I can't pull away as much as I want to. You know, like I'm on board with you in Portugal. Yeah. Like I'll go in your suitcase, stuff me in. Yeah. But like when I get there, I'm going to need 800 things to do. Yeah. So I'll build a hut, I'll build a skateboard, I'll do whatever. But like wherever I am, I'm doing something in that area. And I think that's going to be me for the rest of my life. Cause like my dad's the same way. He retired and like, he was like fucking getting dementia. He was like watching TV, doing nothing. Yeah. He would tell us the same stories like twice a day. I'd be like, what's fucking wrong with you, man? You gotta go get a job. Went and got a job and he was like so spry. Yeah. He's doing better than ever. Can do fucking cartwheels now.
I would go do anything. Maybe I'll learn how to fish. Get a sailboat.
You already got the dumb hats. You know, talking to this guy for 2 minutes, they send me the hats that don't cover your ears. I get sponsored ads for cameos for like Ja Rule.
Yeah. 3
like DMs back and forth with him about like trying to set up a schedule. Yeah. The next 3 sponsored ads are like the dumb, stupid fucking sailor hats that don't cover the tips of your ears. That's amazing. And then cameo shit from Ja Rule. It's like, this is a direct byproduct of being a friend with you.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're purposely putting yourself in quicksand. If that's the trajectory, I feel, and not in a bad way, because like it seems like the outcome isn't anything objective. It's just working harder.
I think risk takers like quicksand.
I need another risk.
I think he'll just try to find a way out of the quicksand. Like I think it really is almost like you're playing with fire in every situation.
Yeah.
Like every day, like it's the same thing about driving fast or not stopping for grandma. It's like I just don't have. You know, I have one trajectory every day, and I like wherever that takes me, it takes me. But if you have a long-term objective, that's even better. I'm just fucking winging it by day, man.
And I still like wing 99% of what I do. Like, but I think like Moffitt's so right. The idea of just it's like you're not wrong putting yourself in quicksand. It's like finding a way out. It's like it's the overwhelming impetus of this could fucking burn.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, how the fuck can I get out of here? But like once you get out of it. It's like, this is nothing now. This is, again, the monotony of daily activity.
Yeah.
When something so bizarre becomes so normal, it is no longer bizarre.
So
do you know what I mean?
What's the bizarre thing that you've normalized? Is this bizarre?
Social media. Yes, this is insane.
This is insane?
So
I've normalized.
This is the completely most insane thing I've ever done.
Interesting.
Like, via the internet, I met a guy who was on the TV show Atlanta in probably one of my favorite scenes ever. And we have become, to some degree, friends with one another and talk more regularly than I do with either of you two.
But So, I mean, you can't have your cake, and then you're going to back away from that.
100% I'm out. I have his number now.
Yeah, but
I got his phone number. I can always call him in the real world.
But there's not other people that you don't know the opportunities that you could have just...
But they don't exist to me, because nothing exists to me that doesn't already exist. I don't think if there's
what
other opportunities are there.
Not a concept that you resonate with.
No, none
the
whatsoever.
Idea of potential.
I've lost nothing, gained nothing.
That's
I only have what's in front of me.
But then you'll only ever have what's in front of you.
I'll keep getting in front of better things.
He's like a video game that's not loading. It's like the screen loads as he walks, and then the back leaves as it goes.
Yeah.
So you're just, oh, man.
He's like an unrendered video game.
He's just like...
He's only using a T5, that's why.
No, I got the T1.
Oh, he's got the T1.
I don't know. Because it's just, I hear two things. Like, I hear like a wantingness for anonymity, a benefit of social media, but also a detriment of social media. A wantingness to get out, but then a wantingness to get right back in.
But I'm not necessarily... Like, me writing isn't me getting back into social media. Like, I'm going to go write and possibly make this YouTube thing. But I said, like, no one ever has to watch it. It doesn't have to do well.
Right.
I'm just doing it. I don't have to get back on social media and make it as marketable as how I made myself.
Okay, so let's pose a question. Like, if I'm fucking Monkey Paw Studios, and I feel like that would be a studio that you would pitch to. You're like the white Jordan Peele. That's what you
kind
are.
of, yes.
Yeah. So you come up with some crazy obscure shit about a dead deer and a watch or some fucking weird stuff with. Anyways, and I say to you, and I've had this said to me, that you don't have a big enough platform.
Great.
Or like, hey, you need to have a social media presence. So in order to like go into this next chapter, you need to, bow to the powers that be for something as innocuous and normalized as already social media has become for you. Do you do it?
At that point, I think I don't know. I don't think I do.
Really? So
I don't know, because it's not 10 years from now. But in 10 years from now, if all things are the same as they are today, which I'm sure they'll be different.
I think you'd do it.
I don't. I
think you'd do it.
I don't know. I would, if it was this moment right now, if someone walked up to me right now and posed that to me, 100% I would do it for however long that takes. But in 10 years, I don't know if I have the energy left, the gas in the tank to do it again. Like,
so hold on.
Me knowing the effort I'm going to put into what we do.
Yeah.
I know in a decade I'm not going to have that same gas.
So this is tiring?
Dude, daily.
Really? This gives me energy like nothing else.
Oh, you have no idea. I don't know if Moffit feels the same, but I find it exhausting to do what we do.
So
I don't know what you guys do.
I think this is a classic presentation of introversion versus extroversion, where an introvert and extrovert can present the same way in a setting. It's how they feel after that setting.
Yeah, I feel exhausted.
Right? Like, yeah, and I get that to a certain degree. Like when I go into social settings where I don't know anyone, I can be like cordial, and I'm way more reclusive. Like I was at a party the other day. It was some UFC fight thing, and I just opened up my laptop. I was in the middle of 30 people and I didn't know who they were. And I was like, all of you make me uncomfortable. I don't know any of you by first name. So I just at someone's kitchen table, opened my laptop and started to work. It was like Linus in the security blanket. It's like, okay, I know this world. There's a bunch of people speaking Portuguese, a few people speaking Russian. I was like, I can't, I'm out. But in a setting like this, where it's like I get to hang out with you guys, like this gives me energy. This is exhausting for you.
I don't know who's on the other side of the camera.
But so that is exhausting.
Yeah.
Really?
That's why as a child, I would never speak on the phone because I couldn't see the facial expressions of the person on the other side. Wow. It terrifies me. It terrifies me to talk on the phone. That's why we FaceTime, and that's why I Zoom call people. I can't speak on a phone because I can't see the facial expressions of the other person.
Interesting. Okay, so now I can see where like the anonymity of messaging people on or like commenting or when people get up your tree in the DM about shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, come to my house. Let me see your fucking face. Fuck you.
Okay, so that's
because that's safety to them, but that is the opposite of safety to me. It's danger
because it's unknown.
Because I can't interpret the situation.
But can't you just like
you know how people on the spectrum can't
please tell me more
can't interpret oftentimes like the subtle intricacies of body language and facial expression?
Yeah, I've had many an ex tell me about this.
For me, I get uncomfortable not being able to interpret those things.
But can't you create like a broad brush? Like that's what I've had to do because I do agree that as much as we've normalized it, like I've just created like a meta character. Like that's just one homogenous sound. Like whatever's on the other end of that is just this one thing. Like it doesn't exist.
I feel like for me, it's at some point somebody on the other side of the camera is going to go, "Hey man, what you just said doesn't fucking matter." And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to agree. And then everything
he watched it.
I know, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, man, that's all dumb. And I'm going to be like, fuck, man, it is really dumb. Like, we're all doing something really dumb. And then I'm going to have to sit in the car driving somewhere. When everything goes silent, I'm going to go, this is all really dumb. What am I going to do?
But then that conversation just spirals into we're all just dust on a rock.
And I can't.
Yeah, but that's the solace. That's
the level of thinking that I have, right? Like every time I look at something, I deconstruct the entire thing. So if I sit in silence and deconstruct what we do, it makes me extremely anxious.
So you don't hold on. So you don't think that writing like a piece for HBO or something like that, or like writing a short or writing a film, is not going to carry with it the same level of what the fuck is this?
But I think it's cathartic because what I'm going to write about is that. Like, it is going to be the deconstruction of everything.
So it's going to be like the reverse Seinfeld.
Exactly.
So it's going to be the story of everything, not a story about nothing.
Yeah.
So just in the artistic expression of what it is you're doing,
it's
that's
cathartic to be like, this is okay now.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's like journaling. People journal to feel better because when they write it down, it's like the cathartic experience.
Sure.
When I write like treatments for things that I want to write, or I like just write pieces of like whatever words on a page, it's cathartic to me because I'm like, I can explain this logically via words.
Okay.
And I don't have to think about it anymore. I can close that book.
Do you have a note like that?
Yeah, my entire business.
Okay, so it is your business. Yours is removed.
Yeah, and that's the thing where, like, when you were talking to Moffit about, like, the difference between me doing something as a means to an end, and almost when I look at what Moffit does, it's like, if I had a creative outlet for all the things I think of in my brain, I think I would be way better off on a mental health side.
Well, that's why Killian and I were actually talking. We were supposed to get together and discuss, like, Photoshop and stuff, because he's like, I want to learn these things. I have some ideas, and, you know, I think it's great. I think putting what you're feeling to, you know, good use, like in this day and age, if you can put it to good use, good. If you could monetize it, even better. Mm-hmm.
But I think both of you, like the three of us, four of us, like, and we've talked about this. We've jokingly said if we put out a basket weaving course.
Yeah.
But because I think we've built so maybe here's the thing. Is there a difference between your personal identity and your brand?
No.
Great. Then that for me is like, especially with social media, if I wanted to get into real estate, I feel like I have an upper hand because I have a brand already kind of built. It would be fucking log cabins in the woods and place where you can hang your plaid at the end of the day. But that's kind of what you get because that's the brand, right? So it's like, for me, if you're thinking about creative outlets outside of fitness, but you already have a brand, why would you cash that in?
Because it's about the outlet, not about the result.
I think it's also about the time frame too, right? Like for me, like so much has changed in the business throughout the years, and like especially with my own personal life, like not lifting affects how creative I am at the business. Because I'm like directly influenced by the people I see, or what's in the gym, or colors I see in the gym, or it's really as simple as that. It's like, what color rims do I see on a colored car? That would look good on a shirt, type thing, you know? So you can really just I'm influenced by my environment a lot. And I don't know where else I was going with that.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe to the social media point where you're saying in a similar way, or you getting out of a gym maybe gave you more perspective and creativity outside of like you know what would be great? Another metal band looking fucking powerlifting apparel company. And now it's like you can do something like Better Luck Next Life.
Yep.
That's totally different and it's removed from the subculture of powerlifting. You're saying that just like Jordy getting out of the gym and becoming more creative, you getting off social media will allow you to be more creative?
Yeah, or I think just like I think even in the same idea of getting away from fitness, right? Because like my usage of social media is fitness. I have a private Instagram account that you're on.
Big fan. Huge fan.
I post hardly anything. It's zero fitness related. And a lot of it's like weird stuff sometimes. They're just like photos of things that I enjoy. And I think for me, it's like right now in my life, I have people outside of this industry that I get to talk to and like spend time with. And it allows me to like access again things I liked before fitness. Because fitness to me was an escape from things I didn't like about myself.
Yeah. Fitness, I feel like even with speaking for myself with the brand, it really put me into one box, and it was hard for me to ever get out of that box personally. So nobody else I don't think ever understood that. But even you said like I'm known as the bacon guy. You know, like it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't want to be that one guy who's known for one thing. You know, like and as much as that title I just don't like it. It pushes me to do other things a lot that wouldn't do otherwise, right?
But is that constraint self-inflicted? Because I feel like, again, if either of you wanted to do anything, you being the fitness guy connected to you, the guy, like the actor, that, and like from Atlanta, that could be a catalyst.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just, for me, is the constraint of, I don't see social media as the constraining thing. Like if I wanted to do something else, I could do it. And I kind of feel like an addict saying that. I could quit if I wanted to, but I just don't want to. But I honestly think it'd be like, it's valuable from a personal brand perspective, unless it hinders your creativity. I
think because you look at it as it in a way of like, why would you get rid of something that's so valuable to the other thing being successful? Right. But like, if we had never done what we do, I never would have leveraged social media in any way. I would have tried to write something and shop it without ever having tried to use social media. It would never have entered into my mind. So I could easily quit tomorrow and never try it again.
Okay, so it is more like it is a process-driven
thing. I would just be like, oh, I'm over it.
So if given the option of like, hey man, in 5 years you could have, I don't know, you could be renowned, have movies, whatever your treatments make it to some network, or you get an HBO or a Netflix thing, but you have to post on social media twice a day. No.
Definitely not.
Really?
Philosophical death. I choose physical.
How?
Physical death happens once. Philosophical death's every day. I couldn't do it again.
But I don't. I mean, I guess like.
Killed by Herb Strong. That's a perfect example.
But even if it was you were given free creative deference to do it, like because you are like on social media, you're given full creative. Like,
and I use it.
Yeah, I know.
To my own detriment.
Yeah, to every cease and desist letter you get.
But I don't know. I think at the time in which I'm willing to take that step, I don't think I'll have the energy left because I'm putting every ounce of myself into this.
Interesting. I had no idea.
And like I really am. Like this is all. Like I want everybody to know. Like this is all of me.
Yeah, we'd hope so.
There's nothing else.
No, but that's good. But I think to me, and that when I look at that level of transparency, I feel like that's the only way to be sustainable.
Yeah.
But for you, that makes it unsustainable.
Yeah.
Because like you're giving with the sense that it's a zero-sum game.
Oh, I'm a candle that's burning real bright, man.
Really?
Real bright, real fast.
Oh man,
that wax
I
is
think
dripping.
this is like, for me, this is easier now than it has ever been. Like even this, like holding this awkward fucking Bruce Buffer thing. This is the most uncomfortable I've been doing this, and this is a joke. No, eh? Really? Are you the same?
What was the question?
I don't even know.
Like, I mean, I posed the question to Killian of like, hey, if this is the stepping stone, if this is like the challenge du jour, and the next page, the next chapter is more creative writing, films, whatever. But if I told you that the deal with the devil was okay, that you could get something published or produced, something you wrote, but in 5 years, if you post it on Instagram twice a day, and he was like, no. And then he quoted a philosophical death.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Even if it's guaranteed.
But you're given full creative control over everything you post. Huh.
I've never committed to anything twice a day for a year ever, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
And like and I think part of it goes to the fact that like my brand on the internet is like so closely tied to me. Like it is just me. Right. I say the same crazy shit I say in real life. Like, I don't need social media as my creative outlet, where I think people do. Like, they use their social media to get that outlet of their emotion or their personality to more people. It's like the 3 people I interact with, I say the same crazy bullshit. It's like I'd turn social media off, we'd hang out, I'd say all the stuff where you cringe, and you're like, dude, please, stop.
Oh, come on. Yeah,
but it's like,
but
that would be the thing. Like, I don't need another place to do it. Like, I have friends that put up with me. It's like I just go hang out with my friends and say crazy stuff.
But your ultimate thing would be potentially write this crazy thing into a narrative story and have it reach millions of people.
Yeah, sure.
That's so paradoxical. Like you see the irony in it, right?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna write it.
Right.
Someone else is gonna direct it probably. Maybe
Sure.
I'll consult on it. Other people are gonna act in it. They're gonna market it.
Right.
If it gets picked up by somebody, that production place is gonna keep creative control, and they're gonna market it. And I'm just the guy who wrote it.
But that like the unknown on the other side of that camera now is not, because we almost know everyone on the other side of the camera now. That anonymity of writing something that'll be that potentially widely distributed, or at least in an industry where that is the end goal of it.
I think I think the end goal for me is just to write it. It's not for it to ever be successful. It's like my end goal is like the minute I put the last period on the page and it prints, that's it for me. I'm done. It's the last I have of it.
I can't.
It's not me, and I don't care.
That's so weird to me. I can't fathom.
It's like a tattoo. It's a moment in time.
Yeah. I've never looked at a tattoo that I have. And like when people are like, how many tattoos do you have? I'm like, I don't know. I have stuff.
One.
What? Yeah, one. They're all over me. What do they mean? I don't know. It fucking looks cool. Like the dude who does my tattoos, I send him something. I'm like, can you make me look tough? I have money. And then I show up and he's like, how about this? And I'm like, I don't care. Put it on my arm.
But you said.
See, I say make me look tough. I don't have any money. And then it looks good.
But you said it's like a tattoo. It's like a moment in time.
Yeah. It's nothing more than that. People are like, what's the meaning behind it? You're like, I don't know. I just got it one day. I like it. I like the colors. That's it. There's nothing deeper than that.
But there's a permanence to it.
So?
Sure.
I don't give a shit.
Well,
There's a permanence to everything.
Why don't you fucking draw it on your arm with a pen then?
Because then there's no permanence. Because then I got to do it every day, and that takes effort.
But then you could just draw a new thing, and it could be a different moment in time.
Yeah, but I don't want a new thing.
I got my entire stomach tattooed because everyone was getting their chest tattooed.
Yeah, that was like a big period, eh?
Yeah.
That was awful.
And everybody had a chest piece, and I went in, and I was like, I'd like my whole stomach tattooed. This seems like it would be big enough.
So when
I make it up. Every time someone asks what a tattoo means, I make up a different
But
thing.
you have some that are meaningful.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
In the
I
moment.
like the light bulb with a guillotine.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you skate on this nihilistic crap because I think you're one of the deepest thinkers I know.
Yeah, but I think it's because I think so deeply they also mean nothing because I know what they are. Like I can get something because it represents kind of something, but I don't look at the guillotine on my arm every day in the mirror and go like, Camus would be proud. This is the freedom of thought.
Right.
It's like I got it because like, okay, this is cool. I can vibe with this. This is $500. Boom, it's on my arm. Dude, 5 years from now, it's just going to be a cool guillotine on my arm.
But when someone asks you, what do you tell them?
A different story every time.
Really?
100%.
So I get the straight though.
Yeah.
Or like the we'll meet again where there is no darkness.
Yeah, sure. You and Marcus now. Other people are like, I don't know. It's a light bulb. Who knows? What does it mean?
Interesting.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, okay. That's, I don't know, man. I don't.
And then you think, why am I having this conversation?
That's what I always think.
Yeah.
But both of your thought processes just default back to we're just dust in space hurtling around.
Yeah, because everything comes down to that for me, and I don't want to think about that.
When I think about how much effort people put into meaningless shit, it's easier for me to think that it's all for nothing.
But rather than just to see where that might give them some meaning?
I don't care about them. They can find their own meaning.
Right.
That's the whole purpose of life, right?
Okay, but then
So
what does it matter what they're doing? And that's my biggest thing with the internet is like, it's like that...
Because they're not doing anything constructive. They're not doing anything to benefit society. They're not doing anything to, they're not learning new skills. They're not, maybe they are, but it's overshadowed with arguments and just people like flexing, like, here's my car, here's my bike, here's how successful I am. And then they're like renting out studios and like they're like fake jets, and then they go home and sleep in a dumpster. It's like the world is so fucking backwards.
But to me, it's like Ricky Gervais has a bit about the guitar lessons on the light post.
Yeah.
Like where the internet to me is literally just a bunch of people with their phone number saying, hey, free guitar lessons, call this number.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't pick that tab off, go home, call the guy, be like, fuck you and your free guitar lessons. Like, yo, dude, it's there, it's not there, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get like, yeah, I mean.
That's how society would work in the real world if they could. That's exactly how society would function if shut down the internet tomorrow. See how people would work out together.
See, I think given the fact that we're self-preserving by our very nature, I think the fact that society works is proof that whatever system we have in place works. I'm not saying it works well, but it's the best one we have. Like democracy is the worst form of government.
That's the most dangerous one.
But it's the best one we got. So I don't know. Like I would
That's
classify,
like drinking diarrhea every day and being thankful for it.
What are you, Patches O'Houlihan? It's sterile and it likes the taste, but it's like I just don't get the. I thought I was pessimistic.
No way.
Yeah. It's just like I feel like Zach Galifianakis is between two dead ferns. Like what I just don't get like the. Oh shit.
Careful.
Like that's a choice.
Yeah.
What's a choice? Everything's a choice.
Everything's a choice.
Right, but like that interpretation of like the negative aspects of human nature, like that's a choice.
I feel like
It's an experience and you're assigning a negative value to it.
And I feel like it's gotten me to where I've gotten because of that. And there's a weird acceptance of like, I've been this negative and it's been positive for me in a weird way.
But aren't you ever worried about like arsenic? Like
Why?
in the fact that like arsenic, if you take it in small enough doses, you're fine, but then eventually it'll just reach a toxicity and then you die.
Yeah, but we're talking about like,
But that's the idea of like the negative outlook. And trust me, I get it. Like we riff and rant. I'm
Yeah.
just playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Because it's like someone has to. Otherwise, just everything in this room, like Kyle's just gonna pull out a fucking revolver and bury one between his eyes.
it's not like doom and gloom. Like
No.
like same thing. Like I was doing cognitive and still am doing cognitive behavioral therapy and psychedelics and all that stuff to really combat a lot of that. But like that, like the brand is an extension of almost like a reflection of what I've gone through in my like ADHD, depression, figuring all that out, right? Like being okay with being upset or not understanding why I feel this way or figuring out why I feel this way when everyone else seemingly doesn't. But that's also one of the things, right? Like everybody's miserable.
You think? But are you?
Not anymore.
Right. Are you?
No,
But
dude,
I've
no.
done-
I'm only miserable when you do fucking Q&As for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah, dude, my life is great.
It takes a long time to figure out, but like I don't want to say I've figured it out, but like we were talking about earlier, I've narrowed down the things that I like doing, and in turn, those things make me happy.
Right.
So cutting out social media, cutting out Twitter, Instagram, like I don't want to hear about politics that don't affect me or my country. Yeah, that might affect my business because I see stuff like that. Like election day, we had no fucking sales.
Yeah.
None. That was like the only day of the year. No fucking sales. I'm like, what is going on? Oh, the election day. Nobody's focused on this. They're focused on that. You know? So like I have to pay attention to some of those things. But at the end of the day, it's like, this has no bearing on my life whatsoever. Like I don't watch the news. We don't have a TV. We've never had a TV. Like and it's funny trying to be a comedian, trying to play on world events when you don't know what the fuck's going on. But that's a big thing. I peek my head out every now and then and everything is ridiculous. It's like putting your hand out the window and getting wind. You're going to get a bunch of ridiculous shit that's happening in the world along with it. And then you pick up from that and then say, Oprah got her period again. That's funny. You know, like whatever's going on in the news.
But I mean, for me, it's so fleeting anyways that it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't register. Like it doesn't register as like a negative. It's just a constant.
I don't think it's like I don't think it's necessarily a negative for me. It's just something I'm just uninterested in. I just have such strong disinterest in it that it's like I don't need to do this.
I see it as a negative. I see no benefit to, like I see the benefit of what the technology brings to society, but I don't see what the end user brings to the benefit of society. And that's what worries me. Is like we're all on this aimless trip of like, my opinion's better than yours, or your opinion's wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's like nothing is ever constructive. Nothing is ever, very rarely is it really worked together. And it's just like it's this unpoliced fucking, alleyway where people can just do whatever they want.
But I feel like there's such a silent majority out there that like the noise of the few people that are going to like DM you about some shit and then you're going to give them the address and be like, yo, roll through.
Yeah.
Is so small compared to the number of people that it helps. Like, so think of it this, and this is what I think about social media, is every like major advances in the human race have been made by such a small number of people.
Yeah.
You got like Galileo, I don't know, maybe like Plato, Hippocrates, you got, Madame Curie, whatever, Oppenheimer. You can name the people that shaped modern day life on probably two hands. So if that reaction can catalyze faster and we could have more of those people as a consequence of churning them in this dryer and just spinning it over faster, and this byproduct of that is the same level of bullshit negativity that's like Galileo and the Pope. Imagine that as a Twitter storm.
Yeah.
That would have been an amazing Twitter storm. Galileo and the Pope, just 140 characters. It's like, or, you know, the sun is the center of the universe, the earth is the center of the universe, no God, whatever the fuck. But it's like, if we can compress that, imagine how many more people who will actually be influential will come out of it.
What was the incentive then, and what's the incentive now? Because now the incentive we know would probably be money. Then there's going to be something getting in the way of that. So the incentive before was maybe you'll be recognized. Yeah. That was a big thing.
But does it matter what the incentive is if the outcome is the same, right? It's your shtick on, not your shtick, but when we talk about being like philanthropic, right? If at the end of the day, if the fucking kid's got a cancer hospital, I don't give a shit if homie dodged taxes, right? So what does the intention matter if the outcome is positive? Like, I think it's just compressing time, right? Like, it's just taking things that would have stretched out and conversations that would have like, you can fly across the country in 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
I think in looking at the idea behind like money versus recognition is, if there's the allure of being able to get paid to do it, a lot more people are going to try and do it. If there's no paycheck behind it, the few who are passionate about it will do it.
So it's like the Simon Sinek thing about the Wright brothers.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Wright brothers didn't have all the advantages, or didn't have all the resources, advantages, but they had the passion, right? And then they were able to develop fixed wing flight. But do you think that because there is an ability to potentially level the playing field, that the incentive and the passion can be, the incentive can find the passion easier?
I don't think so.
You don't think that social media can help connect people?
I know a lot of great people that don't get on it that are probably doing really good things.
Okay. I don't know.
And that's why I mean, where it's like, it's not a catch-all for the good people of the world. How many better people than fucking at least me don't have a social media account and they're doing amazing things in the world, trying to cure cancer?
Yeah, I think it's just the easy default.
It's just an easy default for people.
I think it's just like there's like the American dream where it's like you grow up, you get a family, you get the white picket fence, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's like now it's shaped to like you grow up, you get a phone, you get a social media account, and like that's kind of where your doors open. Right. It's like it's unprecedented times. So it's like people don't know how to navigate these avenues at all.
But I mean, I think you can look at there's two routes, right? You can use it for good or evil, right? Like you can use.
I think it's a necessary evil.
Right. So I think like you can make a choice to go on and be productive and provide value and improve people's lives, or you can be self-interested and you can dance with your friends on TikTok and somehow make money doing that, right? But I think there's a net. I think there's a net positive social media. Thoughts?
I see the positive from it. I as much as I shit on it, I can't be mad at it because I run my business like solely off of it. Right. Like I wouldn't reach the audience that I do without that one platform. And now with all these other platforms, like the Instagram and then Facebook and all these things you can have access to for your business, it's like, and it's all free. It's like you definitely owe something to this, like I'm thankful every day that I can log on, make a post and I can make money for the day. That's unheard of for people. Like you talk about finding the easiest thing ever. I don't want to say it's the easiest thing ever because it's obviously so much work behind everything that you do that there's a lot of risk involved. But yeah, you make a post and that's what gets people interested. That's what gets the work started, but that's also the same time the money comes in. So you're like, awesome, this is great. Like this is the easiest thing ever until it's not. And then you got to find new avenues. So I do think social media is great, but I do think that people misuse it. And is there going to be regulation? How do you regulate it?
You can't put safeguards on human nature. Like whatever it is, you're going to have the same level of distribution across any utility of people that like guns are tools. But some people rock up to the high school library. It's like you're going to have the same level of people that use social media the same. So it's just a byproduct of human nature. It's just exhibiting in this particular arena.
So if that's a byproduct of human nature, how hard is it to really hate human nature? It's really easy.
I mean, you can only control really yourself, right? Like I think that's it. But I don't think it should be upsetting to like it doesn't cost me any energy.
Yeah.
To think about because this is the way it's always been. Like
I think for me, it doesn't upset me. Like, it costs me energy in utilizing it because it's something that I'm uninterested in. Like, I'm adverse to using technology anyways. So it's like, this is something I have to do every day. So it costs me energy in that regard. It doesn't upset me. And at the same time, if I didn't see the direct monetary turnover of utilizing it, I'd never use it. Like, I don't see for me personally a usage of Instagram or social media outside of business.
Yeah.
Like, socially, I'd never have one. So for me, it's like, at any given day, I could just turn this off whenever the business side is done. Right. Because I'm never going to go on there to find my friends.
Yeah, my big thing was like, I'd wake up and I would, go about my day, and then the first thing I'd do is go on my account and I'd look at my friends, and I'd waste time. Then I'd go to work and go on my account. Oh, and I got to post. I was just wasting so much time on myself that was bringing in $0 and taking money away from me because it was taking my productivity. So I'm going, well, same thing with Twitter. I'm posting all these fucking boob jokes and wee foreskin jokes, and nobody finds it funny. I have one guy who likes it. Shout out to Gavin if he's listening. He's the only dude on Twitter that would like anything that I wrote. The guy was the best. Gave me hope for Twitter. But yeah, it's just like, this is so unproductive. As many ideas as I have to move forward with some of this stuff, it's just wasting so much time in the moment. And I was like, what if I could just utilize that time into the business? What if I could be more present with people through the business? We're in a fucking pandemic. I can't go to events. We're at events every weekend. Now this is a time where we don't have any to see anybody, interact with anybody. Maybe we can use this as a tool now, as a business tool to interact with people. And lo and behold, like, productivity went up. My care about social media went way down. Our interaction with people, hearing more about them, learning about their stories, their lives, that's rad shit. I never gave a shit about that stuff before.
But now the only reason you're allowed to care about it is because the thing that you said that you're interested in went down. Like, you said that your interest in social media went down, yet the byproduct of that was your ability to connect with people and get to know your customers went up. Well, how do you think that happened? Right? That was only able to happen because of social media. Yeah. Right.
That's why I say I can't hate it.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's so much about it. Like, if it weren't there, I would be at events talking to people.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference. It's like, like how you hate the anonymous person on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I can't do phone calls. Like, maybe that's like a anxious ADHD type thing, but like, I can't do phone calls. I don't like talking to people on the phone.
Let's say we snap our fingers and tomorrow the world goes back to I hate saying it, like, world goes back to normal and there's events. Will you then turn a blind eye to people that you could now, like, during all this, reach out to and hear their story? Like, will that just cease to exist because you don't go to events anymore? So now you have both.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be a net positive.
Yeah, but I still see it as a negative because it's, there's just so much garbage associated with social media, No.
Well,
maybe you stay away from it.
But it's your choice, though. Like,
it is a choice, yeah. But that's why I got away from it. So, like, our Bacon and Barbells Instagram follows basically all lifting, lifters lifting, and that's just lots of random people. Like, we would just follow people.
Yeah.
So our feed is not necessarily of interest. I don't want to say that in a bad way, but I'm not searching for specific people or specific things to look at. So it's not as appealing to look at. I'll watch people's stories. That's usually what I like to do. But like, I'm not putting anything enticing in front of my face, right there. So I just followed like 1,000 random accounts. So it'll be like a Spanish guy posting something about the sunset. Cool. It's not my friend talking about politics who was a powerlifter who's now fucking crazy with a tinfoil hat. You know what I mean? It's like, it's more controlled, I guess, like you're saying. But I have to like go out of my way to make the info I want to see or less bad info I don't want to see available. Does that make any sense?
Well, yeah, I'm just interested in his opinion because like he doesn't like the idea of curation. Mm-hmm. Right. Now, in trimming the hedges or like getting rid of the fat of the crazy powerlifter gone full send conspiracy theorist, like we've talked about mute or block or delete or whatever, unfollow. What's your thought on that? Like, if you're choosing to expose yourself to these things And people change, whatever. People have their own prerogative. That's your hill to die on, then fucking rock on. But like, what's your thought process on the people you follow?
I would never mute someone. If I didn't like what they posted, I would just unfollow them.
Okay.
I would just go, this is no longer something I need. And they need to know.
Then what's your criteria for you people that you follow? Because it's like you choose to waste time on it. You choose to go down to these rabbit holes. You choose to end up in Twitter fights and comment battles, and you put these things to rest faster than anyone. Because you show up.
Yeah.
Show up, get dusted, fuck off.
Yeah.
But it's like, what makes the criteria? Because there's nothing I despise more than someone who has, like, they follow 4 people.
Yeah.
It's a burner account.
No, dude, Dan Green follows 0 people.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating to me. He's like, Dan, like, yeah, you're crazy strong, and he doesn't give a fuck about social media, probably more than anyone I've ever met in my entire life. But social media gives a fuck about him. And I think there's a certain level of reciprocity. Like, I don't want to say I only follow people who like are down with our stuff, but if there's a coach that takes one of our courses, absolutely.
I follow everyone who follows me. I follow them back until a point in which I don't want to follow them anymore. Right. But if you follow me, I'll follow you back right away. It's the social currency of, like, if I did something that in your mind you went, I want to be abreast of everything this guy does, then to me it's like, I then too should be abreast of what you do.
Right. And
if it's of no interest to me, I will unfollow it.
So there's a trial period.
There's always a trial period. It's 100%. And like, I stay following a lot of people, and I respond and engage with tons of people, whether or not they take Prescript or not. Like, I'll message people on what they lift or like what they wear, what they listen to or whatever. Like, I like to engage in that respect with people, but very rarely in a way in which it's a debate. Sure. Like, if I see the glute book come up, the glute Bible, I will fucking flame that dude, and I will message that person because I have no time for that. But that's the only thing I really get heated about is when I see that book.
So it's not a net negative.
It's not a net negative for me at all. I love social media. I think my entire life is built on social media, as unfortunate as that is.
But there will be a point where that's no longer the case.
Because when it becomes no longer the net positive, it's not a negative. Okay. It's just a nothing to me. Like, when I choose to not run a business on the internet and just live off of whatever money I have in Portugal, I'm just going to be sitting somewhere. What do I need this for? I'm going to have Moffitt's number. I'm going to have your number. Yeah. And that's it.
Interesting.
We'll FaceTime because I want to talk on the phone.
Huh. Or Zoom call.
Or Zoom call.
I can't with Zoom. Done.
I told you this morning.
It's already stressing me.
Yeah, I told you this morning. I was like, I can't do another Zoom podcast.
I've something about the platform now. I get so it's just linked with such a like, oh god. I have the same bullshit sound bites every time a Zoom call starts. All right, I'll wait for everyone to get in. I never know how to hang up a fucking Zoom call. Yeah,
and I think a part of it too, like Moffit was like, it's just like the state of not being able to go outside and see my friends that are outside this industry. Like, I know so many people in this industry, but my best friends have zero to do with working out. Ever. Same. They do not work out. Yeah. And it's like, I don't ever get to see them and hang out. Like, my best friend lives across the train tracks from me and has a newborn daughter, and I've seen him once. And I moved downtown to a place where I can see my best friend through the window, and we can't hang out. And it's like, if I did that, I think I would have so much more tolerance for social media.
Okay, interesting.
Because 13 hours a day, I could go hang out with my friend in the park and then come on for an hour. But the only way I get to interact with people now is via Zoom or social media, and I don't get to travel. Yeah.
So it's like a Stockholm syndrome.
It very much is.
Like we're all in the bank vault. And we formed a relationship with our captor.
I think people always wanted to. I think people had like an inclination to always, like, all I want to do is spend my life on social media. I think everyone wanted to just do that. Like, if I could just like spend all my time on social media and get paid to do it, I'll fucking do it because I don't have to do anything else. Then people got the opportunity, and it's like, oh wait, I have no skills. I don't know how to run a business. I don't know how to do X, Y, Z. So then it's like, well, then social media is useless for me because I'm useless. So I need a real job. World shut down. You know, it's like people finally got a taste of that freedom, and it comes with a lot of work as well.
And anxiety.
Yeah, I think social media is a giant mirror that you put up in front of yourself. Yeah. And a lot of people don't like what they see.
I think a lot of people turn around from that mirror and pretend to be somebody else. And that's what, another thing that not worries me, but pisses me off is like, you see people that you know in real life, and you see them on. I hate that we even have to have this conversation between real life and the computer.
It's 2021, man. Like, it's an inextricable link.
But it's like you know who they are, and you know how they act, and then you see them behind a camera, and you're like, that's not you. Like
when this Jerry does a Q&A.
Pardon?
Yeah.
When this guy does a Q&A, it pisses me off because he just does like, I swear to God, the first app that gets invented, I can fucking reach to that phone and smack
What do
you
you
in the
do?
phone.
I
He
just talk
sits
really
there,
monotone.
You're looking at monotone in the rear view. Like you're sitting there, like no, even the smile on the face right now is not anything. If you were to smile like that on his Q&A,
Yeah.
he would delete it and do it again.
Yeah, I would.
He just fucking like, why the fuck are you asking me this question? And it's like he nags everyone that follows him. Like, I usually don't like greasy hair in a chick, but for you, it's all right. That's how he answers every single question.
I love it.
Like, you fucking piece of shit. Why are you going and doing the thing that I'm telling you to do in the previous slide and ask me a question?
Yeah.
So like, no.
Well, do you want to know something interesting? People, thanks Zoom. People love when you talk to them like that.
Yeah, they
They
really
do.
do. It's that whole idea of like roast me next is how it feels.
Society's at a sick turning point. My friend.
I just, for me, it's and we've been talking about like maybe Twitch streaming this or something like that. It's concerning, but I'm going to ride the wave, is like the voyeurism and the side, like the divide between the sidelines and the field of play right now is it's a chasm. That everyone on the sidelines is now having to sit with binoculars and watch everyone on the field of play. It's like, look, you need to make a choice because there's going to be a point where you can't bridge over. You're going to have the people who, like, I remember when I was married, my nephew at the time wanted to go on YouTube on my TV to watch someone play a recording of someone playing some video game.
Minecraft.
And I was like, I couldn't, and he was 3 and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I must be missing something in translation. And I was like, so you want to like look up cheat codes? Like, we don't have a Game Shark? Like, come on, get out of here. And he's like, no, I just want to watch. Like, this is concerning. Like the voyeurism aspect of it.
So I don't play video games, but I'm addicted to watching other people play video games.
Really?
I'll do it.
You're like the best friend that you could ask for at like age 10.
Yeah, where you
Like,
have two
come on over
controllers and
for-
the one controller's not plugged in.
Yeah, or
They're
you're
playing
you're just like,
Banjo-Kazooie.
oh, I always just wanted the friend who just wanted to watch. He'd always like, when's it my turn? I'm like, shut up. I got 8 more lives. You're the best
you
friend.
got to explain what you just said.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You can't sit here and be like, yo, I work my, and you do. But on your free time, go, I know.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot.
No, but what I like to watch is people who do speed runs of video games where they essentially break the video game to do it really, really fast. And like the amount of time you think that person must put into breaking a video game to beat it in like people play a video game in 2 minutes. They beat the whole game. And they're like, oh, I found this way to break it. And I'm like, that is so cool. And you like they'll put up like an image of the controller inputs and like how fast and calculated they have to be. And I'm like, this is so crazy. This person's so passionate about this. I saw a dude beat a video game playing with his feet.
I'd rather watch someone solve a fucking Rubik's Cube.
But that's boring. This is the new speed Rubik's Cube.
You gotta solve a Rubik's Cube with your asshole.
That's the Instagram way to do it.
Yeah. It all came out brown.
You're joking. Really?
Yeah, dude, I'm
So strange.
I can't. But then I get like very habitual and like it's a bad thing of me. Like I get habitual with it where it's like I'm gonna eat chicken and rice. I gotta watch this guy speed run a video game, and it's like I'll start to get anxious if I can't do the two things at the same time.
So the funny paradox, I'm with you on this, is that I hate social media, but I spend a lot of time utilizing YouTube, and they're the same fucking evil. So it's like I know that
they're the same utility.
They're the same fucking thing.
You're assigning the evil to it because maybe you're watching buttholes solve Rubik's Cube.
No, that's not on YouTube.
Watching fast
guys break video games. It's crazy.
What are you telling me right now? But like, I don't know. Like you can't. Because you by saying like, okay, YouTube, what do you watch? Like, what rabbit holes do you go down?
It's usually like learning skateboard tricks.
Okay,
so it's like
that's
it's
great.
like instructional.
That's actionable.
Yeah.
And you've taken to that at a rate that's mildly concerning for anyone who's a professional skateboarder right now.
That's because I prioritize not working.
But it's still a skill. Like it's still something that you're improving on. Like that's something you've learned a new trick a day for how many days?
90 days.
That's insane. I know people who can't stay sober for 90 days.
Yeah.
Right. Let alone fucking. You should get a little medal.
Yeah.
But at least
I want a participation
At
trophy.
least that's actionable.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it evil.
The whole platform itself is what I've like. The fact that I'm contributing to it while simultaneously complaining about the same thing I'm promoting or putting dollars into the pocket of is like the internal struggle that I have. I'm always thinking about like I'm benefiting from social media in so many different ways, but it's like comes at what cost to me or you or society or whatever as a whole.
I mean, obviously your decision is that the cost benefit ratio is still favorable to you, whether financially, spiritually, ethically, morally, because you still use it.
Yeah, I got to play the game.
But then you don't get to argue about the rules of the game.
I don't.
Okay.
I just complain about them.
But but maybe argue is the wrong word. You don't get to complain about the rules of the game.
Sure, I do.
It's an opt-in.
But that's what
game.
social media is for, complaining about the rules of the game.
It's true. It's very meta. This? It's meta, but I agree. But I don't. But that's where my thing is. Like, I don't say anything negative about it. I can say I'm never going to use it when I don't have to. But I'm not like it's a bad platform. I love it. It's great.
It's like a vocal cord with words. That's what fucking Instagram is. And you're just like, blah, blah, blah. Fuck, this happened, that happened. I'm at this place. I'm here now. Like, it's basically like a tracking service that you do yourself.
But that's beneficial depending on what, like, I watch all of your Q&As.
Yeah.
I watch all of your stories because I think it's hilarious. And I watch everything that you and Lola do.
Thanks.
And that's to me, there's like a wholesome aspect to it. Like, because the first 5 people are people that I if I could, I would live with both of you guys.
Yeah.
I would live with all 3 of you. Like, we would just sit and we could all just hang out in a big house. So I wouldn't have to check. And this is the best part about doing this kind of shit is this is the longest I'll go in a day without checking my phone.
Yeah.
Because part of when I check my phone, it's like, I wonder what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it looks like fun. It's like when George sits on the couch and he starts the Summer of George and he eats the big wheel of cheese and he gets the recliner. He's like, oh, hey, Kramer, what's he doing? He's like, oh, he's in the fridge. Is anything good in there? Is there any popsicles? He's like, you can't do this. So that's kind of like social media. It's like it allows me to kind of keep tabs on my friends.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing.
It's not.
It's not something I'd ever want to get rid of.
I could get rid of it. I have all the numbers of the people I need to know now.
But what did we do before I knew what you were doing?
I don't, but here's the thing. How did we both, I mean, I guess we all sort of met more or less organically outside of social media. But
I think we're a direct correlation because of it.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And that's the thing that is my, I don't want to say pushback, but like for lack of a better term, pushback on getting rid of it is like the net positive of like, you guys in particular. Like Lundy I met in a fucking centennial pool when I was 7. But I met like some of my closest friends I met through social media.
Yeah, but I met them now. I don't need it anymore, right? Like I got what I needed.
And this is like the weird thing with you and potential. Is like the unknown of who's else. Like you said, you got the one guy from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right? And like I have his number. I'm out. It's like, what's the rush? Like why not?
I didn't need to meet him. I met him. I'm grateful for it. It's like I never needed to meet Marcus Leone.
Right.
Marcus Leone is like my hero.
Yeah.
All of you guys are. Like I look up to all of you, and it's just like, but I never needed any of you, and I don't need anyone else. Okay. I'm so grateful that you exist. Sure. And if nobody existed, I never would have known I couldn't have met you.
You're just a byproduct of his life.
Yeah. And it's like if I exit now, I'm never going to be like, oh, if I just – it's kind of like an investment. It's like if you ever like sell your stock in something.
You're not like emotionally invested in much you're doing.
Yeah. And like if you have an investment in a stock and then you sell it, don't check it the next day.
Right.
Yeah.
You sold it. Fuck off. Like you got what you got. And that's for me. Like I could exit this tomorrow and have the best friends of my whole life. I never need anyone new.
Okay.
It's like being firm in your decision, right?
That's very admirable.
But that's my thing. It's like I'm good now. Met Lundy. Lundy's the coolest guy. Great.
He's the coolest guy.
If I'd never met Lundy, he wouldn't have been a worse person.
Right.
And I would have been no less or better off because he doesn't exist.
And that's something that I struggle with is like never being. I don't want to say, but here's the thing: it's nothing you guys do in your own mind is ever good enough.
No.
Right. But there's a content. And I'm putting words in your mouth, but tell me if I'm wrong. There's a content that comes with other people. That there's a gratefulness that you go, okay, then this couldn't get any better.
Always.
Okay, see that's where I'm always, and that's where I've struggled in the past is like, and not like I would ever dispense of people. Although there's some people from back home that me and you could kind of agree that we're probably this guy's saying some crazy shit. But it's like, well, why not more good? Right? Like, why couldn't I get more good friends? And you guys are kind of like, yeah, I've been out there, man. It's not really there.
But I never needed friends. And then anybody and that's the thing where I never needed friends. And
you'll just watch movies.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like anyone who donated their time to me, like I've been forever grateful for Moffit since I was like 17 years old. I saw this guy pulling sumo at a Liberty Village Good Life. and like listen to hardcore music, and I was like, this is who I want to be when I grow up. And then we became friends, and I'm like, I'm indebted to Moffit, and I knew no one else in powerlifting when I met Jordan. Jordan Moffit is the only person I knew in powerlifting, and I went, I'll do this sport because he exists in it. And I want to compete in an untested federation because that's where him and other people that I think are cool show up. I'm going to go to that federation instead of IPF. And I just went there because I knew one person there. I was like, I feel safe over here because Moffitt's there. And I never needed to meet you or anybody else. And now that I have, everyone I call a friend is a best friend.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that.
And that's why I don't need any more, though. It's like everyone is my best friend. I would take a bullet for anybody I know.
Your ability to compartmentalize things, I think, across the board is the difference factor there. Because I don't know if I can do that.
And I don't remember anybody I don't talk to anymore. Like, if I don't talk to you on a daily basis, I have no recollection of who you are.
You like Men in Black fucking laser removed?
Yeah, literally. It'll never affect me again. It'll never come up my thought process.
So you would like walk through the grocery store, recognize someone?
I would. I'd be like, hey, what's up? But I would never in my day-to-day just be like, I wonder what that dude's doing.
I do that all the time.
That's never happened.
I do like a behind the music, where are they now thing. Like I went through LinkedIn the other day. I was like, I wonder what happened to that guy. The kid who thought he was Josh Hunt thought he was Spider-Man in the second grade at Southern High School. Like, whatever came of that guy?
See, that's something. That's a thought process that never comes up. The minute I stop talking to somebody, I'm like, all right.
That's so strange.
That was that moment in time. That was a tattoo.
Well, the thing for me is, it's weird. I can do this with people that were permanent fixtures in my life, and I can dispel of them fairly quickly if there's a reason to. But people that their exposure to me or my exposure to them was not, like, never had a negative connotation. Like, Josh Hunt never did a bad thing to me in my life. But for some reason in kindergarten, he thought he was Spider-Man. It was the weirdest thing. Mm-hmm. So it's like things like that I'll bring up. Like, I wonder where that person is.
I don't have the bandwidth for it.
Fair enough.
Like, I can't store anything extra.
I don't know what to do with that.
It's like a full bag of McDonald's. You got to fluff.
I've been staring at it too.
You're like the philosopher of our time. A full bag of McDonald's.
Yeah.
I don't know how to wrap this.
I think that's it.
I think
feel
that's
like my fucking head's in a pretzel right now.
Yeah, it's a good therapy session.
Well, I just because I thought we were more alike than we were.
We are.
I think we're all very alike. But you know what I think it is? I think we are all so alike, but I think there's something about me and Moffit where it's like if the floor fell out from under us, I don't want to speak for Moffit, but it's like I would gladly just fall into the abyss. Like, I don't have the logic of consequence. We've talked about this before. Like, I see no consequence.
You corroborate this? Do you feel the same way?
So I changed a lot since, like, in the last year or so. Like, I've done a lot of, like I said, cognitive behavioral therapy, and, you know, and I've gotten a lot of shit out of my life and brought a lot different things into it. And, I'm not as, like, neurotic and, you know, crazy as I was before. So I can agree with you on that. Like, it's all day by day now. It's not
you just
like
kind of like make it work. It's like, oh, if I'm floating in a big white space, this is cool. Like, what is this now? Like, how do I explore this?
Like, I still have these cool, you know, deep thinking thoughts, but it doesn't ever go beyond the scope of the thought, if that makes any sense. Like, it doesn't. I'm in control of those thoughts as far as they go, and, you know, it's not gonna put me into a panic or send me into some sort of, like, you know, just thinking the world is one way when it's not. You know, I think you can still be well grounded and like, I don't know, and still, like, live like you live.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, you just have such a firm, like, path and, like, things set, which is so admirable and so, like, fuck, if I could borrow some of that. Like, if I could wake up tomorrow and just be like, I could sit at the computer for 9 hours and type this and build this enormous business, like, that's crazy. But it's like, to me, all thoughts are so fleeting. Like, I'm holding on to kites, man.
The idea that my time would be filled with anything else stresses me out.
Yeah, like I've done 1,900 different jobs.
I literally explained to someone the other day I've done 4.
I know.
I worked in various lumber yards across Windsor, BMR Home Hardware. I worked at nightclubs, and I worked in some capacity in fitness. What was my 4th one? I dealt drugs.
Do you think, though, the fact that he's had 1,900 and you've had 4, that's why it's opposing ends? Like, you only understand one side, he understands the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I've never done anything.
Like, you're good at what you do because you've done it 4 times.
Right.
Like, 4 things consecutive over, and you know exactly what to do, and your trajectory is pretty much the same.
And he's good at what he does because he's done everything.
But he said, like, going back to earlier, he said how he has thoughts in 17-minute increments.
Yeah.
Those jobs could be thought of as 17-minute increments for him, right? That's just how he does it.
A compressed time scale.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
And like I just get up when it's over and I just walk out.
And there's like nothing more to it, you know. Like I know it's hard to.
Well, because like
for him, he's just like it's done, it's over, that's it.
I would be if for whatever reason this went away, I would be in console. I'd be a wreck. I'd be dead. I'd kill myself.
I would just get up and like Jordan said, or Moffit said, I would
just wipe your hand and fucking walk like a blackjack dealer leaving the table. You're just like
not even like I left the job one day at lunch, and I was just like, "Hey guys, I'm not doing this anymore." They're like, "Is this your 2 weeks notice?" I'm like, "No, I'm gone." Like, I'm out. I don't think I want to work here. I'm just going to go home.
But it's obviously different if it's something that you've put you've invested yourself, right? Yeah. When you're when you've birthed the idea. You can't walk away from it, like you said. You can't. It's literally like having a child. You're bound to that name, to that whatever you've built. And you can't walk away from it like you want.
I don't know if I ever want to.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you want to, like, you could be like, okay, this is going on my own accord. Or you could, I don't know, get Me Too'd or something. That would get you done as well. But does that still exist?
No. I don't know, man. Brian Callen
he came back.
He came back. He was like tip of the spear.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it, though. Because that was I'm going totally far afield, but that was like 21 years ago or something like that. But he's doing like a podcast run.
I don't know.
I think the allegation train has slowed down. I think people now know that there's consequences on the other side. Like, I don't think you can say that. Just throw wild accusations.
Well, it's just crazy that you could do that. Like, it was always this guilty before being innocent thing. And
that's the court of law versus a court of public opinion.
Yeah. And that's what made it a little difficult to even want to be online, where it's like, you know, I would say to Lucy, I'm like, I'm a fucking nobody, but I don't want this to be me. Like, right. I don't want to lose my business. And it's not that I even have an interaction with people. You know, like when I had my old store, I had to put like a fucking audio recorder on when people were in the store for pickup or coming in for whatever. Because I'm like, what if I get accused being in a store alone with a female who's picking something up or trying something on or, you know, in the bathroom? Like, that could go south really fucking easy.
I used to travel with a hard drive that I would back up my text message correspondence, screenshot DMs. So if it ever went south, and like I had a chick have my phone once ready to smash it and basically say that she was going to say all this crazy shit. I was like, oh, like you think I only have it on the phone, sweetheart? Get out of here. I got a hard drive back at my place. Go ahead. Smash the phone. I don't give a fuck. I think, born yesterday. Might die tomorrow. It wasn't fucking born yesterday. Yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like you can skirt that stuff not only with like safeguarding and recording shit, but just with the way you treat people.
It was like, why do we have to approach life like that now? You know, it's like you can't just be an honest conversation between two people. It's like, I got to watch my back. I got to make sure I'm not being slandered or I'm being recorded or something's taken out of context. It's like, that makes me not want to meet people.
I think it's ebbs and flows, man. Like, I think we're going to come off like, dude, we're headed into like the summer of love. Like, this is going to be some crazy shit when the world opens up. Like, look at China already. The amount of like money they're pouring into the economy now that things are starting to open up again is unprecedented. I feel like it's a perfect storm. Like, the only thing people are going to have to worry about is like chlamydia coming out of this. Like, this is going to be a rager. I think that you're going to see that pendulum shift in the stark contest towards political correctness really start to overcorrect to the other side.
Do you feel like this is like a repeat of like the 60s going on 70s?
Well, you could make that comparison so easily with like the Hong Kong flu in 1969, right on where people were at Woodstock during the biggest, I don't know the statistics, but arguably a more viral or virulent pandemic than we're currently experiencing. So yeah, I think there's parallels, man. And like, I find solace in the fact that's why, like, I know you read a lot of history. It's like, it's just ebbs and flows. Like, it'll come back around again. Yeah. So I think you get comfort in that. It's like, this is exactly how Henry VIII would have got fucking done if Henry VIII had an Instagram handle and a Twitter feed. Whatever. It's Anthony Weiner, Henry VIII. Same, but different.
Yeah.